All right. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on tonight. I am Anna Vargas. I have been a coach for almost 3 years now. I recently just quit my full-time job as a graphic designer to do this full-time. And I've kind of rebranded myself since September. So I kind of wanted to walk through how I went about changing my brand's voice and really honing in on my target market and my tribe. I have a background in marketing and advertising, so I went about it a very marketing type style. So I'm going to give you guys some questions that you can ask yourself so you can really find your tribe and make sure that you're talking directly to them. So I was going to let you guys know just a few things. Again, here are the FAQs. All Access BOD has launched. It's FAQ 3012. Super Saturday is coming up real soon. For most of us, it's next Saturday, but I know some is in the middle of the month. You can find yours at this link here if you want to take a screenshot. Also, the health bet is coming up, and that FAQ is $14.92, so you can get your people into that. And then again, just for a couple more days, these are the challenge packs on sale. So Quarter Force, that's a program I'm currently doing. Country Heat, 21-Day Fix, and 21-Day Fix Extreme are all ending their sale on the 31st. I'm gonna mute, somebody's on. Okay, we're good now. So today what you're going to learn, again, I have a background in marketing and all this stuff. So usually we would call it our target audience, but in Beachbody world, we usually call it our tribe. So we're going to identify your tribe, find your voice, and communicate your mission. So this is all about you. There's no cookie cutter way to create this. This is going to be really geared towards you putting in the work. We'll pause here a few times if you want to take a moment to kind of go through some of these exercises that I have for you. But this is what you're going to learn today. And it's mostly so you can have that voice, so you can speak directly to that person that needs your help. This is what I pretty much always say right here. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm sure you've heard that one before. But this is getting more into my voice here. And it's totes okay if you have haters. That means you're doing it right. So I am totally fine with having haters because that gets them off my list sooner. And I can really find those people that are loving me for who I am and get what I'm doing. So there is a 3-step process. I broke it down to finding your voice. So yeah, we all offer, we're all Beachbody coaches. We all offer Shakeology. We all offer the same workout programs and everything. But people, they could go to any coach, right? But they're not coming to you for, those products. They're actually coming to you for your charm. So it's what you're bringing out into this world. So that's the first part of it, is you figuring out what it is that makes you unique. And if you're having problems with this is where personal development does come in. You Are a Badass is one of my favorite books. I have the Mastering Your Mean Girl, Think Happy, Daring Greatly. These are all great books for you to read to figure out what it is that makes you unique and brings your charm. So that's the first little thing here. Next is the people who need your product. So if you think about it, everybody needs exercise and needs health and stuff. But where it breaks down to where your voice is going to come in is who you ideally want to work with. Because this is your business. You get to choose who you want to work with. So you can always choose those people from that big mass group of people that need our help. But who needs your unique help? Who needs you in their life? Who needs you to bring your charm and to bring your voice and to help them? So first off, I want you to ask yourself, this is to find yourself, to find your charm. What strengths and skills do you offer? So if you want to write that down, pause it for a second. If you're watching the recording, that's totally fine. If it takes you a minute, that's totally fine too. You're finding your voice right now, so it's totally fine. Second is, who needs those strengths and skills? So if, say, I live in downtown Chicago, I was working a corporate lifestyle, so I was kind of connecting with those types of people, and I was busy, and I could understand how to organize my life in a very busy schedule. So I had those strengths, and I needed to figure out who else needed those strengths. And it wasn't just people like working in corporate and stuff. It could be like new moms that, like, you know, I wouldn't normally think that I would connect with, or things like that. So you kind of have to think of who needs those strengths and skills on top of what you offer. And then who of those people do you actually want to work with? My cat is deciding to drink egg. So who of those people do you want to connect with? And that is going to be your target audience, or your tribe, as we say. So if you want to take a screenshot of this real quick, you can. I will be posting this. I'll post this in the Team Fit Rev page for you guys so you can look over this again. And so to identify your tribe, I want you to actually visualize who they are. What makes them unique? What are their strengths? What are their fears? What keeps them up at night? And a big thing is I want you to focus more on their values and beliefs, because like I said before, I thought that I was looking for a certain, you know, like 20-year-old working downtown in a big major city and they were super busy and stuff, but that wasn't necessarily who I was going for, because I was actually pinholing myself in this little place, but I could actually reach out to a lot more people that I didn't normally think I could, because I need to focus more on those values and those beliefs that I have. Because you might realize that, you know, somebody in a completely different lifestyle than you has the same values and beliefs as you, and they're going to recognize that, and you're going to connect, and it's going to be like your long lost sister or brother or whatever that you didn't know you had. So I really think it's more important to focus like on psychological values and beliefs versus the demographics that they have. So this is a page you probably want to screenshot. These are a ton of questions to ask yourself, and it's going to help you create your avatar or your person. I actually, on the next slide or the slide after that, I have actual photos that I've pulled from the internet of my people, and I've named them, and they have personas, and you know, I know how old they are, if they're married, single, their demographics, their gender, occupation, how tech savvy they are. Like I have certain, like it's kind of like going back to playing with Barbies. Like I've created, like each person has their own little thing, and that this comes in handy when you're trying to find what your voice is. And again, like some more of the questions at the bottom here. What's currently holding them back from that dream, like getting really deep into these questions. And if you're having problems with that, the very first profile that you should have is who you were before you started Beachbody. Even if that was like last week or whatever, like who were you at the beginning of your journey? That could be your first person's profile. So if you're having problems with this, I only started out with one person, and I had that one person for about 1.5 years. And then back just in September, when I quit my full-time job, I added 2 more people to this profile, and I was able to reach a lot more different, like people I never thought I would. Like lately I just messaged one of my friends. I was like, why do I keep attracting girls with pink hair? And then I looked at my photos, and you'll see this is why. I never thought that would be who I would be attracting, but it seriously is. It's like a type of person. It's going to be Celeste here. So these are my 3 people that I have, and Adriana has been my main chick for about 1.5 years. So this was the girl that I was talking to. And hold on, let's see. Let me see if I can show you my phone. It's being weird. So I actually, my approval request keeps getting sent, but I actually have a picture of Adriana here, and I like say that I want, so my team is called the Hot Squad, and I call everybody on their hotties. So I have on here like 2 hotties, like I write down my goals, and I like see her every single day. And it kind of just reminds me like that's who I'm talking to. So Adriana was that girl, like she was like the more urban girl that I was talking to. And I do have a document where I wrote out, it summarized who my ideal audience is, who Adriana is, who Celeste is, who Nina is. They're all different, completely different. There might be different aspects of who I am slightly, but they're all very individualized and have their own goals and everything. So feel free to name them. Feel free to grab images off of offline. And if I don't think maybe people think I'm creepy that I keep these random people photos and I talk to them, but this really, like, I'm creative and this really just helps me visualize and see who I'm talking to. So I want you guys to be able to do this too. And if it's just one person, that's totally fine. That's all I had for a year and a half. So you also want to do a gut check. So once you create these people, you want to say, is this the audience I want to help and work with? Like, do I want to work with Celeste? Do I want to work with Nina? Do I want to work with Adriana? You have to, this is your business. This is your life. You have to decide if those are the type of people you want. And if not, you need to readjust and figure out who it is. And do they want your services? Do they want you in their life? And better yet, like, do they need what you're offering? Do they need you in their life? And then are you uniquely skilled to help them? So in my case, right now I'm an entrepreneur and I work from home full time, but in my past, I, was working 60, 80 hours a week. So I kind of knew what that lifestyle was. So I have those unique skills that can help other people. And you have to kind of just go back to yourself and really think. And again, personal development will help you a ton with that. But just always make sure when you're going through all this stuff that you do a gut check and just realize, again, this is my business. So do I want to work with these people? Or is this like, I want to be happy in my business and I want to help those people that need me. I don't need, people that will be haters or whatnot. So I wrote a ton here because I think a lot of people call it different things, but it's finding your voice. That's what we could call it. But you could be finding your tone, your vibe, your aesthetic. Like, this is what everybody, it's a different thing for everybody. So I want you now, if you've even thought of like one type of person with a few characteristics, now imagine your brand. So you're you, but now you have a brand also, right? So that's where your voice and your tone and all that comes from. So I'm Anna Vargas. On Snapchat, you might see a little more of who I am, but online, I try to be relatable and everything like that, but I don't like air all my laundry out. So I do have, a specific brand, and I think of that as my best friend. So my brand is my best friend. It's like part of me, and it's something like, I think of the qualities that come from my brand. What is the attitude and style that I want to portray for my online presence? Because I get to choose what I share online and that style that I show. And that comes through visuals and everything. Again, I have a graphic design background. So once you find your voice and your tone, it's going to be so much easier to figure out the style and everything that you want to have on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your website, or whatever you have. So some examples that you want to think of for your brand. Think of adjectives like, I just wrote some here. These are all completely different, but I felt like this could go for a multitude of people. So do you want your brand to be sophisticated? Do you want it to be sarcastic, silly, badass, sassy, confident, girly? Think of some adjectives that you want your, sorry if there's children in the room, I guess I just said. So just think of some words that you want your brand and you want your online presence to be, because this is the part of your charm. So you want to be able to think of some keywords that help with that. And make sure that these words match up with your audience. So if I were to say that like I was sophisticated and stuff, like that wouldn't go with my pink-haired Celeste girl at all. Like she's very like edgy and punk, and like that just wouldn't fit her. So like some of my keywords, I'll give them to you in a second, but write down a list of 5 things. Like, just if you guys want to do this now, give me a thumbs up. If not, we can just keep moving and you can wash it in. Okay, so we'll slow down a little bit here. So I want you to create your tone words, your vibe words, whatever that is. And these are going to give emotion to your brand. And I want you to write 5 of them. So these are adjectives, and they can come from your 3 people, or if you only have like one person, if you've done this exercise in the past, like think of things that she likes, think of her fears, think of her like pain and pleasure points, and try to think of those 5 words here. And I'll give you my 5 just so you guys can see, because maybe some of you might be similar to me. So my 5 are sassy, creative, relatable, playful, and uplifting. So I'll give you guys like 3-ish minutes. Is that enough for 2 minutes? I think 2 minutes might be good. I'll play more music. If you want to share what your words are in the chat, if that way I can know if you guys are done or if you need more time. Too many boxes open. I saw somebody post theirs and then I don't know what happened to the chat box. Okay. So for me, I don't know if it was hard for you, if it was hard to come up with 5 or if it was hard to narrow it down to 5, because like you're kind of like talking about yourself. So sometimes you're like, wait, I'm more than just these 5 things, but it's kind of like editing yourself down and figuring out like what you want to have your online presence be. And so for number 5, I went back and forth because I like to talk about the universe and you know how just like a lot of woo-woo stuff. And I was like, how much of that am I actually like going to talk about? So I went with uplifting because that could go for so many things. And I feel like some of my woo-woo stuff that I talk about could totally go under uplifting. And so I kept that there. But this here is just like my overarching, what I've been doing since September. I try to stick to all of these, and I think that it's really helped shaped my tone and my voice tremendously. Like I feel like I've just like I used to want to copy and paste a lot of other people's like coaches stuff that I saw online, and maybe sometimes I'll like pull some like I think it's a great idea, but I totally make it my own. So it's totally fine to, you know, see really awesome posts and like pin them and like, you know, remember that they're there. But I have gone and completely like rewrote with these in mind and my 3 women in mind. I've completely rewrote my scripts and all of that stuff. So if you go on to Team Fit Rev, like in the files tab, there's tons of scripts in there, but you don't have to do this all tonight, obviously. But slowly, you know, start making them your own and start using your tone because you're going to want to be talking directly to that person. So for communication wise, you want to be specific. You want to tailor your message So that's what we offer, your value. So, I mean, that's all your charm. Maybe you are really great at putting meal plans together. Like that's your value, or, you know, what else you're offering. Maybe you're like super funny and fun to be around. And so people just want that energy in their lives. So tailor your message to offer all of that to attract your tribe. And then it's going to repel the rest of the people. And that is totally fine. Like I said before, it's totally fine to have people that don't get it, don't get what you're doing, because that's going to help weed out the people and get you to your tribe quicker. And again, never talk to the masses. It might seem like, oh, everybody needs health and fitness. It's just going to be January 1st. Everybody's going to be setting their goals. So we need to talk to everybody. But your message is going to get lost because you're not talking to one person. You're just like blasting out everybody, and it's just going to get lost because there's so much buzz and there's so much things going online that if you're not directly talking to that one person using their exact language, because if you see mine, I say babe, I use BB, I say totes, like I use all these words that I know my girls are saying. And it's because I want them to know that I'm talking directly to them versus like, hey, we got this new all access thing. Like I'm like, we got this bulk collection. It's like Urban Decay makeup, like talking in their language. And they are more likely to read it versus, you know, just scamming over it because I wrote it for the masses. So again, it can be easy to talk to the masses because it's going to make people like you because they're going to be like, oh, this girl's giving me all this stuff. Like, this is awesome. But it's not going to repel them. And so you're not going to find that niche, that tribe that you're looking for as soon as you want to find it. And you need to be attracting those tribes because those are the people that you said you want to work with. Those are the people, like, you've sat down here, you've thought of your people that you want to work with, and you know that you want to work with them. And so you have to be specific. You have to talk directly to those people. And in order to do so you have all these things about them. You have like their demographics, what their values are, what their beliefs are, how they talk online. Maybe you go to some of these girls that you see like on Instagram or guys, whatever, and see how they're actually writing their posts and kind of pull some of those keywords. Like if they're using certain slang, or if they're like, you're really into paleo, or you're a vegan or something, like look at trending things that are going on in that community and use some of those words and write them down. And again, talk to their pain and pleasure points. So what this means, like pain is like what keeps them up at night. So, or what is their problem? Like, again, if you're thinking about who you were in the past, so maybe you were a yo-yo dieter. So that's their pain point. Like, have you gone back and forth from, you know, fad diet to fad diet to fad diet? Like say that in your post, like talk directly to them. Like, are you tired of doing yo-yo diets? Are you tired of doing fad diets? Like talk directly to them because they'll be like, oh my God, this girl's in my head. She's talking directly to me. And so that could be a type of post that you do. And then there's the other one where you want to talk to their pleasure points. So that's saying, like, what if your life looked like this? Like, what if you were happy when you woke up in the morning? What if you like to get up and work out? What if you craved working out? You know, things that they never would have thought of. Maybe you're amazing at being a morning person, and there's a book called Miracle Morning, and you've read it and you've totally got it down. Say, how would you like to be a morning person? Like, I'm doing a 5-day free group, and we're going to be like, you know, talk to that pleasure point of how they would want to be someday. And you should be talking directly to that. Like, so it's really awesome when you get messages like, oh my God, like you are in my mind today. Like, how did you know? So that's just a really great way to do that. But make sure, again, that you're talking in your voice, talking in your tone, talking to that person exactly. So for your social media strategy, so you've learned, you know, who you're talking to, what you're offering, the 5 tones that you should be talking within. You have to always deliver value first with your tone and what those 3 people need. So again, delivering value is that charm thing that you offer. It's that, yeah, everybody has, you know, we're all talking about all access. And especially if you have a lot of Beachbody friends, you're seeing everybody's talking about all access. It's Netflix, it's the Amazon Prime, like everybody is saying the same things, you know, it's cheaper than a gym membership and stuff. But like, what is your value to your customer, to your girl, to your tribe, to whoever that is? And figure that out within your tone and how you can give that to those 3 people. And sometimes maybe these messages are going to be just for one of your people, you know, because they're all very different. So you don't always have to be talking to all 3 of them at once. But if you're talking to that one person, maybe there's like 3 or 4 people on your friends list that are like, yes, that is for me. So another thing, so first value, that is doing freemiums and stuff like that, free groups, little things like that. Again, like figure out what it is that you're good at. Like I was really good at managing and being very planned through when I worked 80-hour weeks. So I created a busy girl guide to help people figure out like their fitness, nutrition, and like give them like this all little thing. And it's like a 5-day group. It's kind of like a clean eating group, but you know, just figure out what you're good at. So the second kind of social media strategy that you need to do is having call to actions. And sometimes you might see it like CTA. That's what they call it in the biz. But it keeps them engaged with your brand. So that's like at the end of some of your posts, not every single one of them, but like, hey, if you have, you don't have to have a website or anything, but like leave your email below and I will send you my 5-day crock pot thing. Like they don't always have to be in a group, but it's a way to keep them engaged with your brand and keep them thinking about you. And like they have this little guide of yours, or maybe it's just adding them to a free group or something like that, or it's doing a call to action to join your team. Doing that at least once a week, having a call to action type of post, so they know that you're like running this business and they know that you have stuff to offer, just besides like the value that you give every other day. And also creating a schedule. I know that kind of seems scary, but creating an actual schedule and treating this like a business if that's what you're doing. And remembering that everyone's process is different. So I'm like pen to paper, like I was like writing my notes, like this is just my kind of life, is like writing stuff down crazily. But I do have a plan that I could give you guys, and I'll post it in the page in the files tab. But it's like a social media calendar. I think I opened it up. Maybe I can find it again. I don't know how to switch pages. That's fine. But you just break down. If you have Google Excel on Google Docs, just go, and it doesn't have to be pretty or anything, but just write like Monday through Sunday on there and think of different things that you can write per day. Also, if you've ever taken like a speech class or anything like that, write written papers, create an outline for your post. And it's easier to kind of come up with the full content of what you want that post to say if you have an outline. So if it's like, okay, I know that I'm going to have a call to action at the end because I'm doing a free clean eating group, so that's going to be at the bottom. I want to let them know that I know that I've been there and I've gone through those fad diets, so maybe that's at the top. And just creating that outline so you can kind of fill it in, and it's not as cumbersome of like trying to think of a post from scratch. And again, work with your strengths. So everybody's strength is going to be different. Your strength's not going to be the same as my strength. You probably have awesome strengths that I would never even have in my life. So just remember to work with those through your social media strategy. And this is a great way to come up with your strategy and your calendar. Even if you do this, like maybe every Sunday night when you're meal planning and you're waiting for like your food to get done in the oven, like just write out your Monday through Sunday, like I'm going to talk about this topic, and you don't have to write out all those posts then, but you kind of like, if you need a little boost, and you can figure it out then. So for your content buckets, again, think back to your ideal audience. Think about those 3 people, 1 person, 2 people, however many people that you can think of right now. And think of, so these are the 3 main topics that I want to consistently be showing on my social media at all times. So every single week, I better have something that does something in this area, all 3 of these. So you're going to want to think about like, so my girls, Adriana, Celeste, and Nina, like, what do they want to learn about? What do they struggle with? What do they wonder about? What do they find interesting? So I've created 3 buckets. These are mine. If you guys want to think of yours, we can take another 2 minutes again, and you can kind of think of at least 1 or 2 of these and finish it off later. But my content number 1 is finding happiness, and then a little bit of the woo-woo stuff here is kind of hard again for me to break it down to just 3 buckets. So finding happiness, this is like my motivational post. This is me telling people like, you don't have to be stuck in like that job that whole time. Like if you're creative, like I get it. Like we have our ups and downs, that kind of stuff. Listening to the universe, like there's so many things I can talk about just under this one bucket that I have content for months and months and months, right? And then the second bucket is self-confidence and love. And that is something that's really near and dear to my heart. And I've created like freemiums around this and stuff, but I never would have even thought about doing this if I wouldn't have created these content buckets. Like it gave me a playbook of what I should be talking about and how I could be helping my people. And then for my third one, it's girl power tips. So as you can see, like some of these are like generic, like self-love and confidence and stuff, but like I put my own spin on it. But like girl power tips, you're probably like, what does that mean? So that is me, teaching them like if they're a busy girl and I give them a budget, if they're like, they need frugal tips, if they need beauty tips, like anything that I find empowering for women and girls in my network, like I'm going to post that, and that's going to be my third bucket. So I would love to see the chat. Let me try to find it again. I think I hit it. So if you guys want to figure out what you want to be talking about on the daily, like this is your brand. This is what your girls need and what your boys need and your audience would want. So again, like go back to those three people and what they want to learn about and all that. I'll put on music for like a minute. You guys want to tell me in the chat too if you guys thought of any, that'd be awesome. Love to see what you guys think. My Spotify, I don't pay for it, so we're getting an Energizer commercial. I'll stop it now. If you guys want to watch this again and pause it, like I feel like this isn't something that you can really think of sometimes in a couple of minutes. So, and again, you're always evolving, so these things might evolve. Like you might go through seasons where you change up stuff, and that's totally fine too, and refresh your stuff. I think it's really important to kind of, reevaluate where you're at, do that gut check, like I said before, and figure out, like we're always changing. And so our brands might be changing a little bit too. So I'm going to move on. Let's see if it lets me. Okay. So once you determine your buckets, you're going to want to determine how often you want to post. And most importantly, you want to stay consistent and you want to put time into it. So even if it's like one day a week where you're just kind of giving yourself an overview, maybe if it's like just like 2 really awesome posts that you put a lot of time into once a week. Because what I do a lot, this is a little secret of mine, guys. If you've seen some really awesome posts of mine, they're probably older posts, and I just post them with a new photo because a lot of times people just look at photos and they don't read the full thing. Maybe I change it up a little bit, but if you have like really awesome, solid posts that are geared right towards your people, it's totally fine to post again because of the algorithms on Facebook, especially. Like a lot of people don't see your post. So it's totally fine to do that. And again, like if you're working this as a business, definitely think about, creating, I'm going to post 3 times a day, if I'm going to post at these times, if you want to kind of do that. or if you're saying like, I definitely want to post 2 times a day, I'm going to post like 1 motivational and 1 fitness post, or, you know, kind of keeping it like that. That's totally fine too. But yeah. Did you guys have any questions for me? You can unmute yourself or ask in the chat box if you're shy. That's totally fine too. I have to find the chat box because I don't know where it went on my screen. More chat. So I won't, just so the people that are watching this recording, like for your 5 tone words, I'll share some that people gave here. I won't say their names, you know, keep it anonymous. But sarcastic, goofy, supportive, how do you say this word? Empathetic. I've heard that before. And loving. Boho, holistic, weird, motivated, spiritual. Oh, I lost it. It's scrolling weird. Semi-crunchy momming. Female empowerment, pizza. Like those are some buckets that you can talk about every single day. Finding your passion and purpose, holistic living tips, cafe vibes. Mommy life and balancing it all, empowerment and overcoming, recipes and affirmations. So these are, if you can see, like some of these people wrote their tone words and then they wrote their buckets, and they're kind of similar type things. So they're really sticking into that tone and that vibe. And I really hope that you guys take the time to at least find your people and do these little tiny exercises here, because it will give you that guide to help you talk directly to that person. And again, it's really important to you speak directly to their pain and pleasure points, and you won't know what those are until you sorry, I get so distracted. Somebody messaged. But it's really important. You won't know what those pain and pleasure points are until you find out who you are talking to. So it's very important to do that first step before you do any of this. Where do I find my content for my tips that I offer to send them? So some of them, like if it's like a clean eating guide, there's like tons of clean eating guides in Team Fit Revolution, and like there's vegan ones. And like I've been coaching for almost 3 years now. I just make them prettier and I put them together for other tips and stuff like that. So if it's like a busy girl guide, again, like for busy moms, like I'm not a mom, so I wouldn't know how to do that. So if you're the busy mom, like what are little tiny hacks that you do? Or if you can't really think of anything, go on Pinterest and look up busy mom tips, you know, like do that and just rebrand it for yourself, rewrite it in your own words to your people. And it's all yours, you know, like kind of pick it from different areas, because like if you read like news articles a lot, like they're all kind of circulating the same types of things, and so it's totally fine. Like as long as you're writing it in your own words and you're making it you, it's totally fine. So if you're so like for me, I was like I talk about like my planner sometimes and planning out stuff like that, because like that's my life, that's what I live, and like that's what I know, and so that's what I that's what I talk about. And also, is there any other questions? Because if not, Lauren gave me permission to give away a prize. So I think like a really good book for if some of you haven't read it, where did it go? I don't know. But it is You Are a Badass, because it gives you that confidence to be you, and it gives you that confidence to really hone in on who you are and like not give a crap about what other people say. So you won't be sorry if you get haters and stuff, because you'll just know that that's your step to getting your tribe. So if you guys want to put a number in between 1 and 100, I'm going to write a number down right now. If you want to pick 1 to 100. I don't know how long this goes for. Oh. How many people are in? Anybody else? Is that everybody? You can win a You Are a Badass book. I don't think one person has said it. Last chance, last chance. All right, my number is 33, and somebody guessed 32, so you are the winner. And I will just email Lauren, and you will get that book. Awesome. Congrats. I will stop recording, and you guys can get off. But thank you if you're watching the recording. Thank you.